Okay, welcome to the very first module of the very first phase, and we are going to be discussing the goal of front-end game, okay? Front-end game is you attracting the woman. Now, before I tell you the goal, I'm going to give you an analogy, okay? Over here I drew a magnet, okay? A magnet does not have to walk over to the piece of metal and convince the piece of metal to come over by it. The magnet almost has like a gravitational pull, okay? The magnet attracts, which means the magnet doesn't have to try to do anything. The magnet just is, okay? Now, let's take this a step further. If you have a hot girl at a party or at a bar, the hot girl does not have to try to be the hot girl. She just is, okay? What I'm going to be showing you how to be or how to do in this phase specifically is how to be the hot guy that she wants, okay? If you're the hot guy that she wants, you don't have to do anything or prove yourself to the woman, because what happens is you naturally attracted her. So when you do this properly, this is great because you avoid unnatural interactions, okay? And when you do this properly through your words, your vocal tonality, your attitude, what you're going to notice is she starts to be the one to escalate on you. She starts to be happy to push the conversation forward. She starts to become happy and enjoys talking to you, and she asks for your phone number. By the end of the night, she starts making out with you, or she starts kissing you first. By the end of the night, she says, so what are you doing after this? And do you want to go back together? Or do you want to go home together? Or should we go back and watch a movie or eat some food at your place? You're going to watch her push the conversation forward for you. Why is this great? Because it demonstrates the discrepancy in sexual market value. So let's actually state the goal. What is the goal on the front end? What is the goal when you first meet the woman? The goal when you first meet the woman is to make her want you, so that way you do not have to want her. That's beautiful. Say that with me one more time. We're going to make her want you, so that way you do not have to want her. Now, why is this extra important? Because the second that you want her, it's completely over. The second that you want to take her out on the date, the second that you want to take her back and show her your place, the second that it's you trying to progress things and escalate things, the woman gets turned off. Now, why would she get turned off from this? Because we are no longer demonstrating and showing the discrepancy in sexual market value. When you run your front end game properly, and you have successfully completed the goal of making her want you, so that way you don't have to want her, hypergamy is now satisfied. The reason being is because she's looking up to you, because she believes that your sexual market value is now higher than hers, which means that there is now a discrepancy in sexual market value. So this is beautiful, because the beauty of this is, like, when you're the magnet and she thinks you're hot because you're demonstrating the right attraction, cues or the right attraction mechanisms that she would be responding to. The beauty of this is you avoid unnatural interactions. And when you avoid unnatural interactions and you are attracting her by being the guy or by demonstrating the things that she wants out of a man properly, guess what happens? You avoid the one thing that all men want to avoid. You avoid rejection. She can't reject you. You were never overtly hitting on her. In fact, all you did was ensure that you demonstrated the right sort of emotion out of her that you wanted, and you successfully made her want you more than you want her. So the whole goal with front end game is to make her want you, so that way you do not have to want her. And when you do this properly, you avoid rejection. Now see, this is extremely important too, because let's say girl number one right here is the girl that you want, but she's with 4 friends. So let's write number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, all 4 friends. The beauty of this is once you've attracted the woman, you now attract all the women, because her friends see this. Her friends see the woman that you want responding well to you, and now they all want you. Okay, the problem with unnatural interactions when you do not successfully use front end game, the problem with it is that once one of them rejects you, now they all reject you. and now you have a really bad night. And now you're not in the right vibe, you're not in the right flow, you have not been at the cause of her emotions, and now the whole night is ruined. So I want to make this video very simple. I'm not going to be getting into the weeds with it, that's for later. But what's the goal on the front end? The goal on the front end is to make her want you so that way you don't have to want her. Because the second you want her, there is no longer a discrepancy in sexual market value, and now she exits, or now she doesn't want to talk to you. And now she does not want to go out on that date. She does not want to keep talking to you at the bar or at the party or at the social event, and now it's completely over. So women genuinely do not like the men who want them. As soon as you've shown your cards where you really want her, or you're very interested in her, or you're very attracted to her, is the second that she cannot be attracted to you, because there is no longer a discrepancy in sexual market value. So I'm going to state this one more time. The whole goal, okay? The whole goal is to make her want you, so that way you do not have to want her. That is the goal of front end game. Okay, this is an extremely important video because I'm going to be giving you not only like the logistical and the logical breakdown of how all of this works, but I'm also going to be showing you real life stories, because the truth of this is that how you meet is far more important than actually meeting the woman. Now, this is important to understand because you are not going to be hearing this from a majority of content creators. You're not going to be hearing this from a majority of dating coaches. You're not going to be hearing this from anybody, because most people have not mastered the language of women. When it comes to front end, okay, your game on the front end, how you meet the woman is far more important than actually meeting her, okay? I'm going to be explaining why. Let me give you an example, okay? When I'm out, okay, I have a friend named Amanda. This is a true story. I actually have a friend named Amanda. When I go out, if I meet a girl through my friend Amanda, instantly the girl wants my dick. Because Amanda's good looking, Amanda has a nice shape, Amanda's cute, and Amanda likes me. So naturally, if we're friends, automatically the other girl feels a degree of trust. She feels a degree of attraction, because women optimize for survival, right? Women are social and survival creatures. So the way that you show the discrepancy in sexual market value between the man and the woman, the way that you show your sexual market value is higher, is you bring social and survival value to the table. If I go out and I meet a girl through my friend Amanda, instantly the girl wants my cock. But if I were to meet that same girl out all by myself by saying, hey, yo, you know, my name's Casey. Hi. Saw you walking by, okay? If I meet that same girl up by saying, yo, my name's Casey, she goes, get lost, loser. Now, she doesn't actually say that, but you get what I mean. It's far harder. Keep in mind, I'm the same person in both situations. I'm still Casey in both situations. I still speak the same. I still carry myself the same. I still have my frame. I still look the same, sound the same, talk the same. The difference is how we met. If we meet through Amanda, high degree of trust, higher degree of attraction, higher degree of certainty, higher degree of social and survival value brought to the table. And now the woman wants to keep talking to me. Now she wants to see me. Now she wants this to go somewhere. So why is this important? This is important because women are social and survival creatures. I'm telling you this, and you need to write this down on a sheet of notebook paper if you have to, or whatever the case may be. The how, okay, how you meet, the how you meet establishes trust, okay? The how you meet establishes trust. Why does trust have to be there for the woman to want you or to continuously desire you? Because women are social and survival creatures. So I took this a step further, and I even noticed something, okay? I recently moved to Arizona. So when I was living in North Dakota my whole life, what I noticed is that a lot of people from North Dakota moved to Arizona, okay? But then I noticed something else. All of the girls from back home in North Dakota, when they moved to Arizona, they were still going on dates with, hooking up with, and going out with all of the guys from their hometown. So I sat for a second and I thought, why would that be? These women are in a way bigger city. These women are in a way better environment. There's tons of men here. Why would the woman still be hooking up with the guys from back home? It's because there's a degree of trust there, because women are social and survival creatures, so she could instantly understand the man's sexual market value because she knew him, okay? There's a degree of trust. Most people, if they would see that, they would overlook that and go, it's just because they know each other. there's a bigger reason for this. Women have abundance of options. The women who I know from my hometown could be with any of the guys here if they chose to. Most of them are very beautiful. But they're still choosing the men from back home. They're choosing to go on dates with these men and hook up with these guys and date them and all of that stuff. So why would that be? It's because the degree of trust, how they met, instantly there's common interests, there's common location. How you meet is far more important than actually meeting. So, say this with me. Women are social and women are survival creatures. This is why, okay, fame or situational status helps to attract women. Okay, if you take a famous movie star, if you take a famous rock star, the girl can visibly see safety, security, and survival value just by taking one look at him. She goes, look at him be admired by everybody else. Everybody knows this guy's name. He's safe to be around, which is why all the people are wanting to be by him. He clearly has something going for him. He clearly has survival value here. He clearly is well liked in the community or throughout the whole world. Instantly, the attraction is now triggered. So this is why fame or situational status helps to attract women. Now, obviously, you are not a famous movie star. I am not a famous movie star. But, okay, what I want you to do at all times is I want you to push at all times to have friends and have social status in your peer group to be the guy that has an easy in, so that way the women trust you. Okay, that means you're the guy who maybe sets up the venue. You are the guy who sets up the house party location. You are the guy who sets up the friend group and creates the group texts and the group chats for everybody for what you guys are doing that weekend. You are the curator of the event. You are the curator of the interactions. You are going to meet people by association because you now have a large group, or you have friends, or you have a demonstration of value socially that other people are into. A woman needs proof. If you want to trigger attraction with a woman, give her proof that you are well liked, well accepted, and you have a high degree of social and survival value. That is the key to heightening or raising her desire quickly so she wants you. So, very important to understand this. Now, another important note is, just like the example I gave you in the previous module, we are the magnet. We are attracting the women, okay? When I meet a girl through my friend Amanda, I am attracting her naturally. The conversation is effortless. The chemistry is there. Everything has been solidified, so it's effortless. If I meet that same girl out by myself and I say, hey, my name's Casey, she goes, get lost, or she thinks get lost, or she thinks, I don't know who this guy is, I don't care about you. If I meet her through Amanda, she likes Amanda. Girls trust other girls. Instantly, she wants to trust me. She's like, oh, Amanda thinks you're safe. Amanda thinks you're cute. Amanda likes you. You and Amanda just are sharing a drink together. There must be some safety or survival value here. Okay? This is why this is so important to be a social being, a social creature. Women are social and survival creatures. Enter into the world of people. Okay? So, very important, attract. You do not chase, you do not pursue. When you pursue a woman, instantly she doesn't want you. So if you take a famous guy, let's take any famous rock star, any famous musician, take the most famous person you know that you see on TV. If that guy starts to do what 99% of guys do, and he pursues one girl, and he asks her out a lot, and he constantly wants to see her, and he's saying, when can I take you out, or I want to take you out here, and he's constantly giving her a lot of attention, he's driving his sexual market value down, and that woman will exit too. I am not immune to this, okay? If I do all of the typical things where I approach a woman randomly, I try to prove myself to her, I try to get her number, I say, hey, would love to take you out, or I say, hey, it would be fun if we went out sometime. If I did all of this stuff, there's a very high degree or a very high chance that she would just stop replying to me completely. Why? Because the how was never established. The how is so important. So, very important. We are attracting women through how we are meeting them on the front end, okay? This is not purely about chasing or pursuing, okay? So let me give you an example. There was a girl my brother a couple of years ago really wanted, okay? He wanted her so bad, and he wanted to ask her out, but I told her no. I told him be patient. I told him wait. She was very hot. A lot of the guys in town wanted her. I was like, you need to be patient. You need to wait. Do not ask her out. Do not try to direct message her. Do not go, even though she's right there at the bar and you could go approach her, do not do it. Wait, timing, bring her into the environment, bring her into the group. Have the right vibe so this is set up where she meets you organically, not a unnatural interaction where you're trying to take her out of her element or her social group that she's with and now try to work your words the right way and stimulate her emotions and then make it feel like you're trying to essentially get her number. Okay? I said be patient. So what happened? I made him wait. He was hanging out with other friends. He was hanging out over time with some of her friends. He got to know some of her friends. He had other friends at his house. Days, weeks, months went by. Everyone was hanging out. Everyone was having a good time. Pretty soon she got invited into the group. And then next thing you know, she inboxes him first and she direct messages him. And she says, I would like to see you. Why is that important? Because the how was established. The how they met was established. There was a solidified ground that was already established where she could see social and she could see survival value that my brother had. He was well liked with the friend group. He was well liked with others. He was well liked with the other women that were around. Very important. So what I can tell you first, number one, she has to want you, okay? Just like I said in the previous module, she has to want you so that way you do not have to want her. This is why we are attracting, okay? Which means we are not trying to see her. We are never trying to just set a date with her. We are never trying to meet up with her. You got to understand, every guy on planet Earth wants to meet up with her. Every guy on planet Earth wants to take her out for drinks. Every guy on planet Earth wants to take her out for dinner. We are not trying to do that. We are not trying to force a vibe or force fake chemistry. No. We are realizing it's not in a man's best interest ever to try to get the woman at all. You are not trying to get her. You're not trying to get her number. No. You are in your own world with your own frame, with your own social environment, with your own social group, having your own fun at all times. And eventually when she gets brought into that vibe and that interaction that you have created, then it's your time to shine. Then it is your time to use front end game, speak at the appropriate tone and cadences, speak at the level where you're playing games and having fun. And then what's going to happen is she's going to want you. You have now successfully attracted her. You realize it is not in a man's best interest to try to get the woman at all. It is female nature and a female inclination to get the alpha male, okay? To get the guy who's well liked, to get the guy who the women are after, or to even get the guy who all of the other men seem to be friends with. He's a cool guy. Women want the cool guy, okay? You're showing the discrepancy in sexual market value. This is how you do it. You set up the how. How you meet is very important. So how you meet her stems into an organic vibe. If you are walking down the street and she is walking down the street and you say, hey, pretty lady, excuse me, love the dress, whatever, you try to work your words some way at her, she instantly knows you're trying to get something from her, right? You're trying to get her phone number. You're trying to take her out. Her guard goes up. She doesn't necessarily know where you come from or anything about you. She can't visibly see you have social proof. You have a lot of things not working in your favor. Really, the only thing that is working in your favor at that point is if she likes how you look appearance-wise and if she likes how your voice sounds. And that you can't control. That's Mother Nature. Okay? So how you meet her stems into an organic vibe. When women say that they would love to meet a man organically instead of online or instead of on a dating app, this is what they mean. They mean actually organically. Like, oh, I was just at an event and my friend Amanda introduced me to him and I thought he was really cute because Amanda thought he was really cute, and then we just started seeing each other and going on dates, and then one thing led to the next. That is what a woman means by organic. A man's version, when he says organic, means you organically met her in real life, which means you saw her and you went up and you approached her. To a woman, that is not organic. To a woman, that is a forced approach or a non-organic vibe, a non-organic approach, a non-organic interaction. To a woman, organically means that she actually met you organically via the social group, via the friends, through other people, and conversation naturally happened, meaning you talked to her like a normal person. You weren't trying to just get something from her, meaning her phone number, her Instagram, anything like that. So, this is great. How you meet real stories. I have 2 stories, very recent, okay? And it wasn't just my friend Amanda. See, when I go out, here's the thing. This is why I'm telling you, you guys need friends. Everybody here inside of this, you need to make it a point to start off with your dude friends, your guy friends, and you guys start adding people to the group. and you branch out and you add people to the group. So when I go out, sometimes I'm with, I'll give you some different occurrences, but this first week, okay, the first week that I moved to Arizona with the first girl, another girl named Casey, okay, what happened was I was out with probably about like 5 to 7 people, give or take. A lot of social proof working in my favor. So I'm going to give you an example, okay? So I have a friend named Amanda. Like I told you, she likes me. She likes who I am, okay? All of you need friends. The first week, her friend Casey, a different Casey, I am C-A-S-E-Y, this is Casey, K-A-S-I-E. I meet her, okay? We're out at the bars. I do not try to state my interests or state my intent. I'm purely playing games and having fun. That's it. And this girl's laughing for 2 hours, which means her emotional state is being pumped for hours, which means she's slowly getting more aroused. If a woman's laughing, if a woman's trying to talk to you, if a woman's flirting, if she's in your energy, she's in your presence, you brought her into your vibe, her arousal is getting pumped more and more, and she's actually getting hornier. That's how women work, and that's how women operate. Women fall in love through words. So I meet her out, okay? I meet through Amanda. We kick it off. I'm using all of the things I'm going to show you in front-end game when it comes to speaking, games, vocal tone, all that stuff. By the end of it, she's kissing me. Okay, she's actually making out with me in front of Amanda, her friend. And everyone can see this. The rest of the girls we're with can see this. The other guys can see this. Have a lot of things working in my favor. By the end of the night, she's asking if she can go back to my place. She even said, I would literally go screw in this bathroom right now if you wanted to. Publicly. Obviously did not do it, but this is what came out of her mouth. You can't make this up. This is how powerful it is meeting the women when you have set up the how. How you meet is far more important than meeting. Now, fast forward, girl number 2, okay? Next week I go out, meet girl number 2 again, and this girl's name is Ashley, okay? So what I would advise a lot of you to do too, my friend Amanda has lots of female friends. She has female friends from work, she has female friends from going out, and she's naturally a very bubbly, charismatic woman, which means if she sees a woman at a bar or anywhere out, she'll instantly go, oh my God, girl, I love your purse. And she gets all flirty. Right? And then she takes a selfie with them. You want women like that. You want women that other women like, because then they get brought into the social group, and then naturally, what do you have? You have social and you have survival value, okay? So like this is so important to understand, because women are like, you gotta think how times were 500 to 1,000 years ago. There's no airplanes, there's no cars, there's no transportation, there's no heating on electricity, none of that. All a woman has to gauge her desire off of is who's in front of her, okay? And who's in front of her is going to be purely set up based off her location. Now, who's in that woman's location, okay, is going to be based off the community that she was born into. Same goes for, like, you got to really think about, like, how things were and how things evolved. The only men that a woman had access to were the men that she knew of. Hence, this is why all of the girls from North Dakota in my hometown, even though they moved to Arizona, they are still hooking up with all of the guys who are from North Dakota. Why? Because that was the community that the women were used to seeing. That is how female attraction works. So, the second story. Amanda brings a different girl named Ashley. Okay, she thinks that I'm cool because Amanda likes me. And then me and Amanda are friends, and Amanda has a nice shape, nice figure, right? She has, you know, like good hourglass figure. And then Amanda orders a plate of fries at a bar, and it's just like me and her, and I actually came solo this time, and I met her and her friend there. And then Amanda had a couple other friends there. Long story short, Amanda's sitting on my lap, we're eating fries together. Obviously, the other girl can see that, like, her waist and everything, and she's comfortable sitting with me. All of a sudden, even though I have Amanda sitting on my lap and we're sharing food together, and I'm sitting on a chair, from behind, okay, Ashley comes behind, reaches around, grabs my face and turns and starts making out with me. By the end of the night, she's asking to go home too, with me. So by the end of the night, I'm the chooser, not the one waiting to be chosen. And by the end of the night, I hardly have to say anything. I don't even have to ask for the girl's number. The girl was asking for my number. She was taking pictures with me. She goes, oh my God, I'll text you this picture of us. And then all of a sudden she gets my number because now she has a reason to send me the photo. All of this stuff happened. It's the how. How you meet is so important. So when guys are sitting there and they're like, man, how do I attract the girls? Or how do I, what is the right things to say to the woman? Instead of thinking of the right Rubik's Cube of emotion, of words to say, right? The right lock combination that you have to type in, or that you would have to say to that you would have to do with the lock. Instead of that, focus on how you're meeting them. Focus on the how. The how is so important. How you guys meet, okay, this is why I titled the module this. How you meet is far more important than meeting, okay? And another thing too, when you have a lot of friends like this, look at how there's social jealousy working into play. I'm sure Amanda really likes me. She just has never verbally said it. But there's a reason she asked me to go get coffee. There's a reason she is willing to sit on my lap. And then the music's playing as we're eating fries and she's bouncing around like this with her hips on me. There's a reason, right? But I'm not giving her the validation, or I'm not giving her the interest. I'm just enjoying my time. I'm just in my own world. And then all of a sudden the girl sees this. The second girl, Ashley, she could obviously visibly see that Amanda likes me beyond a friend. So since she could see that, now all of a sudden she wants me too. So even though her and Amanda are friends, Ashley and Amanda are friends, what does Ashley do? Ashley literally reaches behind and grabs my face and starts making out with me. Women will aggressively approach you and push the situation forward and escalate when you set up the how properly. How you meet is so important. So that's why I made this module. I hope I covered this well. I hope I covered this in great detail. And yeah, keep progressing forward, because we together in this program are literally going to be unstoppable. Just, you have to stick with me. This will all make sense as it keeps unfolding. Okay, this module inside of the phase of front end game, I titled it, The Second That You Want Them, It's Completely Over. Now, this is true for the entire process. The second that you really want her number, it's completely over. It needs to be her wanting your number. The second you really want to take her out on a date is the second that it's completely over. It needs to be her really wanting to have you take her out on a date. The second you really want to sleep with her is the second she really doesn't want to sleep with you. It needs to be her wanting to sleep with you. Women are the gatekeepers. Women control the whole process. Everything moves at the woman's pace. And the second that you want them, it's completely over. So there are some rules to this. Let's recap and let's refresh the rules, because you're going to notice me repeating a lot of the same concepts until everything clicks and until it all is hammered in. First rule, always needs to be a discrepancy in sexual market value. Next rule, I am in my own world when I'm going out. When I am on the front end attracting women, I am in my own world. I give no fucks about the women at all. I'm purely operating in my own world, in my own space, in my own frame. Now, when I'm in my own world and I am having fun, I am demonstrating social value and I'm demonstrating survival value. I'm coming preloaded with friends. I'm coming preloaded with good energy. I'm coming preloaded with games. And now everybody's smiling. Social value, survival value, okay? Naturally, when I have these couple things checked, discrepancy in sexual market value in my own world and giving social and survival value, now hypergamy is naturally satisfied. So the second that you want her, instead of attracting her where she wants you, it is now completely over. The whole interaction is over. It's completely ruined. She's probably never going to look at you the same or ever want you the same again, unless she visibly sees other women who are more attractive than her wanting your attention, okay? So this is really important, because if some of you have, women that you really want, it's important to lay your cards right. So women only want what they can't have. So I'm going to be showing you how to demonstrate yourself in a way where you attract her, but she doesn't necessarily know if she can have you or if you even like her. And this is 100% going to help you take action. So what I want you to really keep in mind through this whole process is you are always in your own world with very little focus on her, okay? I'm going to give you a great example of lions and lionesses in the wild. Lions are the male cats, lionesses are the female cats. The lions are always in their own world. That means he sits there like this. Like, I've seen videos on this. He sits there like this. He eats, he sleeps, he shits, and he fucks. He is not running after the lionesses or trying to talk to them. He's not trying to give them food, nothing. Even the lionesses are the ones oftentimes that I've seen, they do the hunting and they bring the food to the lions. So keep this in mind. The lion is fully being served, okay? Lions and lionesses. Now, the male lions and the female lionesses, the female lions, which are the lionesses, they desire and fight for the male lions. They are trying to achieve reproductive value from him. They are the female lions are the ones trying to have sex with the male lion that they select. Keep this frame and this dynamic in mind. The male lion is always in his own world with little to no focus on her. So now we got to ask ourselves, well, what is a lion? Okay? A lion is a cat. Okay? A lion is a cat. It's a cat. Okay? Be the cat. So I'm going to give you two examples of cats versus dogs. Women punish dogs and women hate dogs. Okay? Because dogs stay there, they're loyal. The dogs show emotion and care about the humans. Okay? Women punish dogs and women have sex with the cats. This is how real life works in the real world as a human. So we are going to look at the differences between the two. The cat, okay, if you have pets, if you have animals, if something goes wrong or something startles the cat runs away. The dog will stay, okay? The cat will run away and go do whatever it wants. It's not loyal. The dog sits there and loves its owner no matter what, and it's loyal. The cat gives no fucks. The dog cares. Women punish dogs and women have sex with cats in real life when you are like in a human analogy term, okay? Women punish dogs and they sleep with cats. So, what is the lion? The lion is a cat. You need to be the cat. You need to be the lion. What are lion or what are cat-like mannerisms? Well, first off, the lion is just looking away off in his own world. If I'm out with a girl or if I'm out on a date, maybe I'll look at her a little bit, I'll smile, and then, maybe I'll just like kind of look over here and look at the scenery. He looks away. He ignores her from time to time. She says something, he looks at her, he goes, looks away. Even he maybe will lean away, okay? If I'm on the couch with a woman after a date and we are snuggled up watching a movie, a lot of times what the dog mannerism is the dog mannerism is having her right up under her arms and, kissing her and being right there, loyal, caring. You want to lean back. You want to give space. You want to imply that you're not sold on her. Sometimes I'll even sit on the opposite end of the couch just to make things awkward for her so she wonders if I even like her or find her attractive. The cat mannerisms are the ones that work. She says something, you go, I don't know. Disregard it. Okay? So, I'm going to give you this truth in this real life story. This has happened to me personally. Yes, me, Casey. Okay? And keep in mind, same person. No matter no matter who is in front of me, I'm the same person. My voice sounds the same. My body is shaped the same. Everything about me is the same. But it all depends on how the man acts. In the past, when I've acted like the cat or the lion, okay, I've pulled 10s. And I've gotten 10s head over heels in love through front end game, through doing it this way, through attracting properly. When I've acted like the dog, okay, who stays right by her side, is loyal, is caring, is loving, I get ghosted by 6s. This will happen by you as well. When you act like the lion, what is the lion? The lion is the cat. When you have the cat-like mannerisms, running away, not giving her a lot of certainty. Sometimes if I'm at the bar, I'll just kind of scurry off and she won't see me for 10, 15 minutes. She'll go, did you go to the bathroom? She'll text me, where are you? Did you go to a different bar? Okay? When you act like the cat, you pull 10s and you can get the 10s head over heels in love. When you act like the dog, you'll get ghosted by 5s and 6s. So, what does that mean? That means women don't actually fall in love with men. They fall in love with how the man acts. When you act like the lion, which is a cat, when you act like the cat and have cat-like mannerisms, you all of a sudden become a chase. The woman wants to chase the cat around the house to try to pet the cat. Right? Meanwhile, the cat's not even worried about her. The cat is chasing the ball of yarn. I'm giving you some analogies so you kind of understand this. The second you want them, it's over. The second you want the girl, it is completely over. She has to be the one wanting you. She has to be the one wanting your time, wanting your attention, wanting your love, wanting your validation. And you know what happens? The harder you make her work to get it, the more she loves and desires you. The second you want them, it is completely over. So recap. When we have the frame that the lions and the lionesses have, where the lionesses are the ones fighting for the male lions. The lionesses are serving the male lions and bringing the male lions food. The lionesses are wanting to have sex with the male lions. Meanwhile, the lion just sits there and waits all day and eats and sleeps and shits. When you get used to the dynamic of her serving you, when you operate like this as if the lions and the lionesses become real life, you now prove the discrepancy in sexual market value. You show you're in your own world, and you are displaying the social and survival value to naturally satisfy hypergamy. This is how female mating works and how female mating operates. The second you want them, it's over. As I've gotten older, I will even sometimes, and this is not like regimented content I'm giving you right now, this is just a truth snippet of my life. As I've gotten older, I try not to even set dates anymore. If I'm talking to a woman and we've exchanged numbers and I'm interested, I try to not even set dates with them, because every guy tries to set dates with them. Hey, want to go out and get drinks? Hey, want to go get dinner? Hey, movie night at my place? Hey, want to go hot tub? Hey, going for a walk in the park, want to come with? No. I will now string them along over text messages like a cat. Kind of just scurry away. It's like I'm there, but she never really has me. Never in a pressured state to see her ever. I'll take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. Maybe she gets a text once a day, once every couple days. Never trying to set dates. She sits there and wonders, I wonder why this guy won't ask me out. And pretty soon I will get the text. Sometimes it's 4 weeks, sometimes it's 5 weeks. And I will get the text and she'll say, are you ever going to ask me out? Are we ever going to meet up? And I go, oh, if you insist, yeah, I could do something maybe. I think Tuesday, I'm free after 5. You free after 5? Oh, yeah. Okay. It's her coming to me. It took me 10 fucking years to understand this dynamic. 10 years that nothing trumps the dynamic of the woman coming to you. 10 years of trial and error, suffering, hardship, heartache, heartbreak, of understanding that the second that you want them, it's completely over. It took me 10 years to figure this out. Okay, so in this module, I'm going to go even a step further, and I'm going to show you why you need to put a double emphasis on the how. Okay, the how you guys met. So there is extra importance on the how for how both of you meet, because I have a rule, okay? As I've gotten older and as I have dated more women, my rule is you want to spend 5 times as much time setting up the how, so that way you can spend 1/5 of the time actually approaching and talking. Not only that, if she's in the right environment where she feels like talking to a guy, or more specifically where she feels like talking to you, you see, you've now created an atmosphere, or you have created an environment that she can thrive in and she can feel safe in, so that way she genuinely wants to talk with you. So, here's why. Women are social beings, and women are also survival creatures. So this, for example, is like the #1 problem with online dating. Even if you're a guy who's very good looking and has model quality looks, I even have friends who fit that category, they will still get ghosted from time to time by women on online dating. And on top of that, sometimes, they'll spend a numerous amount of time, minutes or hours, texting back and forth with a girl, even sometimes FaceTiming the girl and trying to set something up, and then last minute the girl will flake or the girl will stop replying. This is the problem with online. The first issue with it is that how you meet was not set up properly. So you're sitting, you're passive. She knows you're sitting there behind the phone. It's not organic, right? That's not how humans have mated for their whole life. So that's the first problem. The second is that she can't sense your tone. She can't sense your tone, not only with her, your tone of voice, but she's not able to sense your tone, your way of speaking with all of the other people around you. Okay, she's not necessarily able to gauge how others are responding to you. And to boil it all down into one sentence, it's just not organic. So this is why women claim that they have poor experiences with online dating, or they claim that the dates go nowhere, because even if they have a bunch of great guys, even if they have a bunch of attractive guys, it is not set up in a way where they want to actually speak with the men, where they feel attraction, because women have a different set of attraction mechanisms than men do. The how was not set up properly. So there needs to be a way, okay? Let's use a couple examples. If you have an Instagram account where you're constantly posting all of the fun social things you're doing, it could be parties, it could be pool parties, it could be getting drinks with friends, it could be getting food with friends, it could be everybody watching a game on Saturday and the whole stadium going wild, whatever the case may be. If she sees you smiling, interacting with other women, and having fun in a social group, and you are consistently posting that, there's a very high chance that she sees those stories and now she wants to join into the fun. Well, if she wants to join into the fun, chances are she's going to start to heart them, or chances are she's going to actually swipe up on them and comment at you because she now wants to talk. Okay, from there was a how you guys met. This would be a digital example. Another example, okay? I had an old girlfriend. I'll explain to you how we met. So earlier in this program, I talked to you about being in motion and active masculinity and constantly doing things, and why women get turned on by seeing a guy in motion. Now, this example of how I met my past girlfriend years ago, this stems into purpose and into career. So I used to have a business where I did fitness coaching and fitness consulting, and it was online, and I would enroll clients, and then I would coach them, and I would do certain things where I would totally transform their body, and they would look like a totally different person at the end of it. Well, I had a female client, and that's how we met, and I was coaching her, and it felt organic to her. And then when we did sessions where we would like follow up, and I would structure in person her nutrition routines and all that stuff, she actually then asked me out. Okay, so keep in mind, when women meet a man organically where the how is set up properly, what happens is the rest of the men in her inbox and the rest of the men on her cell phone or on a dating app become obsolete and non-existent, because you are touching on her attraction triggers in a more primal way that female psychology and female biology responds to, that most men are not able to obtain. So setting up the how so you have an organic experience with women is so important. I'll give you another example. Oftentimes with my work that I do right now on YouTube, I have a videographer. My videographer is about to get married. He met his future fiance, or future wife, I should say, through friend of a friend, right? So the friend of a friend that he met her through was a female. Well, instantly then he was pre-qualified, or it was almost like it was easy for him, or it was easy for his current future wife to respond to him in a positive light, because the how was set up properly. So when you set up the how, it touches on women's natural primal attraction triggers at a better level. So now to the woman, it feels like it just happened. She's like, oh, I met this guy, he was really cute, he was really attractive, and it just happened, and one thing led to the next, and I really liked him. And she oftentimes can't even explain why. She just feels a sense of safety and a sense of security because of how she met the guy. So this is how women would prefer to meet men. They would prefer to meet men through friend of a friend. And this is the number one way. If you can start to be a man who curates an active social life, and you can curate an active social environment, that will do more for your happiness than any amount of looks, money, or status. And in a way, this is status, but a lot of those things are very one-dimensional and isolating. Humans are social creatures. Humans respond to other humans. If you have curated a great social life for yourself, where men and women both are actively coming to you because either A, you're the life of the party, or B, you curate things where things happen and people have fun and people have good experiences and meet other people, that's the highest form of social value. That is status in a nutshell, okay? So women would prefer to meet men through friend of a friend. Why would this be? Because now the guy is pre-vetted. It's like she almost doesn't even have, she can skip a majority of the phases that she would have to do on an awkward date of getting to know the guy. Well, what does that do for her confidence and her trust in the man when she's around him? She naturally thinks he's cool. She naturally thinks he has survival value. She naturally thinks he must have something going for him, or my friends wouldn't respond to him well, okay? He's pre-vetted. So let me give you an example. If her girlfriend likes him, okay, now there's individual trust. She has trust in that guy because her female friend has already pre-approved him. So her survival is now better optimized because of the women pre-vetting the existing guy that she came into that social circle or that social environment. This is a very important concept to grasp, because the majority of the reason why guys' approaches don't work is not because they're bad guys, and oftentimes it's not even because you're unattractive. It's not even because you're not attractive. The biggest reason is because the how is not set up properly, and it took me 10 years to realize this. So let me give you an example. A lot of you want very hot women, right? You want you want the 10s, right? Or you want a really, really sexy girlfriend. You want that beautiful woman where you walk down the street and everybody looks at you, okay? Let me give you an example of how this works. The only way to get the super attractive women who have tons of options, because you have to understand, if she has tons of options, she has to select you. And women are the sexual selectors. Women do the choosing for which men that they feel are qualified, okay? The only way is by giving her proof. She needs pre-existing proof that you are cool, that you are who you say you are, and that you probably have had other women in the past at her attraction level or even more attractive. So let me give you an example. What you have to do is you're going to have to climb the ladder socially. You're going to have to climb the social ladder because the chances of you approaching a very hot woman, direct messaging her, or matching with her on an online app, and it actually going somewhere is literally slim to none. I would say the chances are 1 in 250 or 1 in maybe even 300, 400. Very, very, very small odds. So when she meets you through friend of a friend, and the how is set up properly, you can bypass a lot of those things and you instantly climb the social ladder in her eyes like that because how you met was set up properly. So the friend of a friend is important, or you climb the ladder socially. And what I mean by that is if you typically date 6s, there's a high chance that if you are actively, maybe posting things and demonstrating your life socially, eventually you pull a 7. You pull 7s, eventually you pull an 8. You pull an 8, eventually you pull a 9. You pull 9s, you get 10s. This is how it happens, is the women can see proof. You start to develop a reputation for dating these types of women. You start to develop a reputation that you're a guy with options, and this is how it works. They need proof. Now, a lot of you who are impatient, you have to realize that this takes time. Okay, and this is why as a man, to level up your sexual market value takes time. It takes time and it takes understanding. You have to understand what you're doing to leverage the right things in your favor to set up the how. So that's why I made this video. This is a double emphasis on the how. I can't stress this enough. These motivating factors right here will dictate your front end game at such a high level. Once you actually get into true front end game dynamics one-to-one with the woman, you're going to notice how you set it up is going to drastically impact that, and that's why I'm spending so much time in these beginning modules with front end game actually demonstrating this, because you need to know just how important it actually is. Okay, one of the most drastic things that we need to discuss, because this will totally help your game with women as we actually do slowly now move into front end game, where we're discussing how to speak with women, is removing your emotions. Removing your emotions as a man is so important, because as a man, there is a dynamic constantly going on between the masculine and the feminine. The masculine spirit is order and regimen. The feminine spirit is chaos and tension. And I will be giving you a couple examples to explain why. What you need to do is you need to remove your emotions, and yes, that even includes happy ones. Now, why would you want to even remove the happy ones? You need to remove your emotions, or you need to take a look at them, and you need to realize if they serve you or not, and most likely they do not serve you, because as soon as you become emotional in any way, shape, or form, you are now going in a reactive format, or you are living your life reactively based on feelings and how you feel. This is very feminine. You have to be able to remove your emotions. Now, if you're wondering why, the reason is because they are all designed to weaken men. I believe, this is my own personal belief. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but this is what I believe. I believe all emotions are evil and designed to weaken men, and I will give you an example why. You might be sitting there saying, well, why are they evil? Why would a good emotion, if I feel good, right? If I feel happy, if I feel good, if I have a smiley face on me that day, why is that bad? Why would that be evil? Let me explain. The point that I'm making is they are evil and weaken men because the example I'm going to use is a biblical example. If you guys have watched my YouTube channel for a while, you already know that I will constantly use the dynamic between Adam and Eve and why it is never in your best interest to listen to a woman, but hear me out for a second. In this story, Eve says, hey, Adam, eat the fruit. It will feel good. Eat the fruit. It will make you feel good. It's okay. Do it anyways. And what does he do? He listens. He says yes. So what he did was he wanted to know how that feeling is. He wanted to smile. He wanted to feel happy. But what came with that was pain and repercussion and suffering. Never listen to what she claims she wants. If you listen to the words of a woman, you're in for pain and you're in for suffering. Okay? This is the example why. So I'm talking any emotion. Sadness. If you buy into this and you're sad that day and you let this dictate how you move and how you operate, you're now operating on feelings. Happiness. If this now dictates your productivity and how you are that day, this is changing the way you're moving, the way that you're working. That is not good. You're letting feelings dictate how you're taking action in life, and you cannot do that as a man ever. So I'm going to explain to you how deep this goes. When I am using front end game, when I'm speaking to a woman in a certain way, if I'm smiling at her, if I'm laughing with her, here's the note that I want you to remember. You are at the cause of her emotions. You are never at the effect. Let me explain to you how deep this goes. If I smile at a woman and I'm laughing with her, if I smile, it is not because I'm happy. It's because I am trying to get her to smile. Cause energy. Look at how deep that goes. Think about that. Some might even look at that and you go, well, that's different. That's strange. I've never heard that. This is the truth. If you want to get great with women, you need to be in your masculine energy, which is active. It is in motion. It is cause energy. I am at the cause of her emotions. I'm at the cause of how she feels. I am not at the effect. I am not using her responses to gauge what I should do next. I am at the cause. I am the driving force. I'm the in motion. I'm the active energy. That is masculine. That is orderly. That is operating out of principle. So if I smile, it is not because I'm happy. It's to get her to smile. Look at how deep that goes. That is being at the cause. If I smile and I laugh and I'm saying certain things that's making her giggle, it's not because I'm happy. It's not because I'm in a good mood. It's because I am running front end game. I am regimented. I have order. I have principle. I'm doing things on purpose. This is called good game. This is structured game. You want to make the woman fall in love. If you want to make the woman fall in love, you need to be at the cause of her emotions all the time. Sometimes she's going to be craving tension. Sometimes she's going to be craving that chaos. Other times she's going to be craving sadness. Sometimes she craves a big argument between both of you. But the key is to know when to display that wide array of emotions, and I'm going to be showing you why later on. But keep this in mind. If I even smile at a woman when I'm out talking at a social event, if I'm laughing with her, if we're doing things, it's not because I'm happy. It's because I'm trying to get her to smile. That is cause energy. I'm at the cause. I'm in motion. If you can do that with women, you are now a driving force in the world. She will see that you are able to captivate others, and you're going to be able to actually captivate her. Very important. Remove your emotions, which equals removing being at the effect of other people's emotions towards you, and you are now at the cause of other people's. Very important concept. So I titled this module Balls and Why You Need Them. Okay, as you grow your social life, as you grow your social experience, as you grow your front end game in attracting women, your balls are going to have to get bigger. So this is going to be probably painful and probably uncomfortable, because naturally, if man just does what man does, naturally man will just gravitate towards homeostasis, which means you're healthy, you're at home, you eat, you sleep, you shit, you go to bed, you wake up, you do your same routine. You're not out actively socializing, you're not out actively attracting women. That's why this is uncomfortable for a lot of guys, is because what you have to know is being able to attract women and proving to yourself and proving to your biology that you're able to replicate is like the highest form of social value. Well, that means you're probably going to have to do some painful or some uncomfortable things to almost not prove yourself, but to have the balls and have the strength characteristics needed to get out of your shell to do that. So this module is titled Balls and Why You Need Them. So the only quote that I typically use when I go out is I'll just use the quote in my head, I make shit happen. You walk into the room, you say, I'm the guy who makes shit happen. I make shit happen. That is cause energy. You're with your dude friend, you're like, oh, those two girls over there, we're going to approach them, we're going to go talk to them. Oh, party over here, we're going to go over there and we're going to make sure everybody has vibes. You curate the energy and you start just making shit happen. You talk and you become social. So this is more of a mindset module, because the truth is being a man is hard and it's uncomfortable and it is full of suffering. This is what you have to know. If you're a man, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer psychologically, you're going to suffer physically, you're going to suffer in new ways, pushing yourself to growth. Like, this is what I'm trying to tell you is, like, to be a man takes actually becoming one, right? So there's some guys who are 45-year-old boys out there, right? There's also some guys who are 16-year-old men, right? Because they've done hard things. You make yourself a man. So we're going to write man here, right? You make yourself a man. You don't just get to become one because you're old and you've went through puberty. You have to become a man. Being a man is hard, it's uncomfortable, and it's full of suffering. You become one through pain and hardship. So what I'm going to tell you is you must suffer and overcome it to prove to yourself that you are who you say you are. Which means if you are who you say you are, you need to start to identify right now with the man who's able to attract women. You wake up and you say, hey, I make shit happen. I attract women. I have an active social life. I am this. I am a cool guy. You have to identify with being a cool guy who attracts women, or you're never going to actually be a cool guy and you're never going to attract women. So you start identifying with those beliefs. I am this. I do this. I make shit happen. And this requires balls. So for some of you, if you don't have any balls, the first step in getting balls is actually saying, I have balls. Well, now you're at cause energy. Now if you say, I have big balls, well, now you're identifying who you are and your beliefs with the words you just spoke. What you speak becomes true. Eventually, you are who you say you are because you push yourself to those limits. So balls, you need them. You're going to need balls to talk to new people. You're going to need balls to talk to women. You're going to need balls to approach women. You're going to need balls. If you have a party planned out at some event and you guys want to do the first meetup at your house and you guys are all going to drive together, you got to have balls to invite everybody over and have a good situation and a good vibe and good music playing to do so. You need balls, okay? You need them. You need to make shit happen. Because as a man, life is hard and full of suffering. To exit that suffering, you need to prove to yourself that you are who you say you are. I do it with this one quote. Every time I go out, I say, I make shit happen. By the end of the night, I start to make shit happen. That's how easy it is. Okay, this is another high-level mindset concept overview type video, and I'm going to be discussing the social alpha that women want to actually sleep with. So what the social or the sexual alpha does is he creates or curates a vibe and actually makes shit happen. He is making shit happen socially. Now notice, he could do this with only $1,000 to his name or $1 million to his name, it doesn't matter. So notice, when I say the social alpha, or even the sexual alpha that women want to sleep with, he is creating a vibe and he is creating good social flow and energy. So notice, I did not say the alpha male who is the billionaire who's ripped with six-pack abs. That might be alpha to you, or that might be alpha to your male friends at the time, if that's what's lacking in their life. But to women, this is not what women consider alpha. What women consider alpha, and from a sexual standpoint, is the man who is the socialite of attention and can captivate them, which means you're captivating a room, which means other people are responding positively towards you. If you went back 1,000 years ago and money wasn't invented and a private jet wasn't invented and weights and the bench press wasn't invented, the only thing a woman has to actually go off of that she actually gives a fuck about is your social value, which is how you interact with human to human, right? It's human to human dynamics. So how do we do this? Okay, we are bringing active masculine cause type energy. If you're with friends, you say, let's go here. You're switching venues. Or you're reading the room and you're saying, hey, let's go here. If everyone is bored with their drinks, you scream the word, we need shots, and you get everyone shots. You're also resourceful. You're also maybe willing to pay. The social alpha is overtly generous or extremely generous because he's always in abundance. You are always pushing forward. If you notice a gap in energy where you guys have been at a bar or a venue for 30, 40 minutes and you notice now the energy is starting to decline, the social alpha is always pushing forward. He screams, let's go here. All right, new location. Guys, we're going to go over here. You're leading. When you do this, she feels led. Okay? Notice, this isn't what to say or how to say it yet. I'm still giving you overarching masculine mindset principles of front-end game. If you don't internalize these principles of the energy flow that you're bringing to the room and the energy flow that you're bringing to the environment, it's virtually impossible to generate attraction. it's virtually impossible to generate social trust where the people like you, or especially the women like you, and it's virtually impossible to generate sexual desire. This is very needed. So let's also dive into this a little deeper. The social alpha, or the sexual alpha, when he's with women, the guy who the women actually want to fuck, he is never stingy. Okay, he's always in abundance, and that means you're in abundance with everything. You share food, you share resources, you buy people around. If you're with a girl and you notice her drink's running low, you say, let's go get a drink, and you lead her to the bar, or you lead her to wherever, and you pay for both you and her to get a drink. You act like this is an everyday common occurrence to you. You act like that $10, you don't even sweat that, or you don't even notice that leaving the account. Okay, so I'm going to give you some ways I do this and some ways that works really well. The first is games, okay? Women also like bets. If I'm very good at thumb war, I virtually never lose. If I ever see any of you guys out somewhere and you want to challenge me, be my guest, because you're probably going to lose, okay? Games, what I'll do with games is I'll tell the girl, hey, let's play thumb war. I go, if I lose, you know, we'll get a round of shots, right? If I lose, you got to take a shot, or if I win, right, you have to take a shot. If you win, I have to take a shot for everybody. So if there's 10 of us, I got to take 10, right? So what's that doing? That's displaying confidence. If you beat me, I have to take 10. If I beat you, you only have to take 1. Of course, she's going to say yes to that. So I'm playing games, but I'm also making a bet out of it. Bets are really good too. Now, when you play games, you want to play games you know you can win, right? So another thing that women like to see is reckless, even with money, because it shows abundance and it shows competency. Women do not gauge the amount of resources or money you have based off how much money you make. Women judge your resources and your competence and your abundance based on how much money you're willing to spend, okay? If the billionaire pulls up and he's wearing normal clothes and he's not spending any money, her primal hardwiring for attraction is not registering anything towards him. However, if I have money and I buy a brand new diamond watch and she sees that, that's something tangible she can see, right? So what I like to do is I like to do bets. Now, when I say be reckless, even with money, because it shows abundance and competency, that doesn't mean do anything stupid. To you, being reckless might be $10. Cool, bet her $10. I'll give you an example. There was a UFC fight. I was at a sports bar where everyone was watching. I was with 2 girls. I'll put a picture up on the screen. I came with these 2 girls. One of the girls, she wanted to bet me on the fight. I said, okay, who you got? Now we're teasing each other. I automatically went against her. I go, $100. Bam. So now I got a $100 bet on the line. Well, now she's like sitting with me, or she's sitting by me. She's all wrapped up around me. She's snuggled up into me in the bar. There's all this sexual chemistry and there's tension. What do? I push her away. I say, oh, we're not friends right now until the fight's over. We got to see who wins. Get away. And then she goes, no, no, no. And it's playful, right? There creates tension. There's games. Bets. So now we bet. Midway through the fight, I go, how big are your balls? She goes, so big. I go, okay, double or nothing. Now it's 200. Right? So what is this demonstrating? This is demonstrating recklessness, and this is demonstrating abundance. Now, if you do bets, you're going to have to play to your strength of what your power level is with money. To me, $100 here or there is not a lot of money. So play at your ballpark level. It's all about the energy that you're bringing to the table. Okay, it's all about the actual energy. Now, here's another thing too. If you win the bet, okay, don't make her pay. If you lose the bet, always pay her. Right? Okay, the reason why I'm doing it like this is I want her to feel like she is, I don't want to say lower value. I want her to feel like she is basically, like earlier in this program, I talked about the daddy-daughter dynamic. I want her to feel like I'm looking out for her, or she is with me, or I take care of her. Almost like an older brother to a little sister, or like how a dad would take care of his child, the dad to daughter. This is the dynamic I'm establishing, right? So like, if you ever hear like kids growing up, whether it's a son or a daughter, he would say things like, you know, grandpa always lets me win when we shoot basketball. That's the premise I'm trying to come from. So if I bet her $100 on the UFC fight that we're both watching, I'm not going to make her pay if I win. I say, nah, you keep it. That money do better in your hands than mine. You need it. I go get us some shots. How about that? Okay, so now I said keep your money. I also led her to do something else. Say, go get us some shots. We need that instead. Okay, that is much more powerful. Now, if if I win the bet, I'm never going to make her pay. If I lose the bet, I'm always going to pay up because I want to show that abundance. I want to show that I'm not stingy, and I want to show that money ain't shit. The reason why you want to show that money ain't shit, I don't care if it's $1, I don't care if it's $5, you need to play to your power level and be proud of it. If you're at a bar and you can only afford $5 on that bet, you look at me and you say, I'll bet you $5 right now, double, and then midway through the fight or midway through the game, whatever, if you're watching a football game and it's second quarter, midway through you go double or nothing. Double or nothing, I bet you won't, I bet you can't. Now you're playing more games, now it's $10. Women only respond to energy. So she doesn't care about the price of the bet. She cares that the bet and that the game is there to begin with. So play to your power level, right? I'm not a famous celebrity, so you're not going to watch me put $1 million bet down on a UFC fight because I can't afford that, right? But everyone can afford something, even if it's just $1. Bet you $1, right? Now you're playing a game. Games and bets. Women want to see that you're reckless and even carefree with money because it shows abundance and it shows competency. Now, I use this word reckless loosely. Do not do anything fucking stupid. Do not go make it so you can't afford your rent or your car payment to impress a girl. Just have fun and play games. That means knowing what your own power level is when it comes to money. This shows abundance and this shows competency. Another thing that I will do that is a huge game that subconsciously happens that women love to see, okay? Let me just give you an example here when it comes to abundance, resources, food, calories. If there's 6 people, we'll order a bunch of food, or I'll just tell the server, like, we need a bunch of food. So I'm like, wherever we want, we're going to pig out. And I don't even care if we end up taking half of it or 3/4 of it home. I just want to show that abundance is there. So if there's 6 people, I'll order 5 pizzas, right? And 2 burgers and 5 milkshakes for everyone. Everyone gets to dabble and gets to try a little bit of everything. The women light up because the primal hardwiring in her brain, she's seeing abundance. She's seeing abundance of food or calories, right? Men were hunter-gatherers. Men would have to bring calories. And she's seeing like, I really don't give a fuck. Massive attraction spike. Every single time when I do that to a group or there's girls there, the girls are always like, oh, I love when he just orders a bunch of food like that. It's so cute, or it's so hot. They like shit like that. They like to see that. So when you play games with women, like when I'm telling you the social alpha is never stingy and he's always in abundance, focus on these 2 things. Play games. I don't care if it's snowball, I don't care if it's rock, paper, scissors, I don't care if it's betting. I don't care if it is playing a game of darts. You guys play darts at the sports bar, you guys play darts at wherever. Now you make bets. Bet you I can't hit a bullseye. Bet you can't hit a bullseye. Bet you this, right? Bets. Women like bets because bets sends into games. When you're playing a game with a woman, she's in a playful state. She's loving your vibe and your energy. You're winning her over. She's winning you over. Reckless, even with money. Okay, let's touch on the word reckless. Reckless does not mean you're doing something that's not competent and you're blowing all your savings and now you can't afford to eat or you can't afford rent. You're giving a reckless vibe or feeling or energy so she feels as if you're in abundance. That demonstrates competency. To a woman, a diamond watch shows more competency than $1 billion in digits in your bank. Why is that? Because she can physically see the resources on the wrist. She cannot physically see the digits in your bank account. That's why women gauge your power level with resources in a social alpha environment or in that room based off of how much money you're willing to spend, not based on how much money you have, okay? And that's just DNA. That's biology. That's hardwiring. It's what she can see. The guy who had all the resources or had all of the land was the king, or the guy who would go hunting and come back with all the food and actually she could see the physical resources of all the food and all the calories there. She could see it. Women's attraction responds to what they can see. She can see a diamond watch. She can see you order 5 pizzas and now you have excess calories in abundance. This is how women gauge it. Took me 10 years to figure this out, okay? So, the social alpha or the sexual alpha, he is overtly generous. You being overtly generous when you buy the girl a drink, when you buy you and her a drink and you act like it's not shit, and she goes, oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, no problem. And you turn away like it's nothing, that's abundance energy. You are never in scarcity. You have abundance of resources. The social alpha is overtly generous with food. You're overtly generous with bets and games because you want to have fun. You're overtly generous with the vibe and the social flow. And you're overtly generous with money or resources. There's a very big stigma on the internet where if you pay for things or if you end up in provider type energy, that's weak. That is total bullshit. Do not ever listen to that. Women respond to men who have competency skills, and one of the way you show competency skills is through resources. Women's attraction gravitates towards men with resources. Be able to show, you can show those resources at any income level. If you don't have a lot of money, but you buy 2 pizzas, and now the whole group has 2 pizzas, hey, you're the guy who provided those pizzas, you're providing calories, you're providing food. Her primal hardwiring is seeing that. So keep that in mind. You just want to show, and when I say never in scarcity, you're truly never in scarcity. Like, even if the bet during thumb war is only $5, if you say it with the energy that is always pushing forward and masculine cause energy, you say, I bet you $5 right now, bam. I bet you $5 I'll pin your ass in thumb war in under 10 seconds. Will you bet me? She shakes on it. Cool, you're never in scarcity. That $5 shows abundance because of how you said it and the cause type energy you were bringing. So it's not about the money that you spend, it's about you bringing the energy that shows abundance. And this is how you demonstrate things to women. So I wanted to give you this overarching module because this is why the social alpha that women want to sleep with, he creates the vibe and he makes the shit happen. It is not about all of the things that men gravitate towards, like, oh, if you have $20 million and you have 6-pack abs, you're the cool guy and you're automatically going to get laid. If that guy with $20 million and 6-pack abs sits there like a square and doesn't talk to anybody and has passive energy, he's not going to get laid, and none of the women are going to gravitate towards him. So what you think is alpha and what you think is attractive is not what she thinks is alpha or what she thinks is attractive. And this is how women's brains and women's hardwiring responds to certain types of men who demonstrate these things. Okay, the very first module on how to actually talk to women. So I titled this Literally Act Like a Dumb Moron. And I have my own reasons and I have my own theories for this. So the reason why you want to act stupid or you want to act like a dumb moron who is not very intelligent, who probably has low IQ, who isn't very smart, who is stupid, the reason why you want to act like this, I have my own theory. So hypergamy and a woman's biology and women for hundreds or for thousands of years, right, of how, humans developed, women are very keen on a man's status and a man's sex appeal. And my thought process with this is women would respond to really 2 types of men. The first type of man that they are going to be replying to and they are going to have high sexual desire for would be a man of royalty, right, or a man of status. So if you're king of a nation or if you're king of the land 1,000 years ago, you have your pick of the litter with women because they all want you because you symbol high status in the hierarchy and hypergamy satisfied. But women also would gravitate towards the second type of man. The second type of man that a woman would gravitate towards is somebody who is very masculine, therefore they are doing, therefore they are just acting how they are naturally as a man. And that man is probably very physically fit, probably more of like a laborer or very able and very capable, okay? Women do not like men who are in deep psychological thought, right? So if you think of the male or masculine traits of protecting and providing, building shelter, hunting, gathering, things of that nature, those male skills required a lot of doing, and the conversation would be very surface level. So then I thought to myself for a second, okay, so that means any logical talk, a man who's in deep psychological thought, a man who is very deeply vested in his emotions is probably going to come across very passive, very insecure, and in the dominance hierarchy or competence hierarchy of men, that type of man hundreds or thousands of years ago would be registering to the woman as low sexual market value, low confidence, low desire, and very passive, where he would probably not be very much use in the tribe or in the community that she's part of. That's kind of my own thought process for this. And regardless if that is the narrative you are sticking to or not, all you have to know is this works. This works so well, you are going to be amazed. You can literally talk like a 6-year-old and you will get more women than you ever have, okay? It's fun because it's easy, it works. So literally act like a dumb moron. So this is the how. So for all of you, you're wondering, well, how do I run front end game? How is this supposed to look? What are the things I'm supposed to be saying? I will tell you all of it through this next sequence of modules. Now, furthermore, in the next modules to come, okay, we are going to be taking an even deeper dive through each of these sequences. We will be covering tone, okay, vocal tone, tonality in the modules. We will be covering why you need to talk slower and how you can demonstrate this in sentences. And then I'm going to show you how to focus on colors, feelings, and vibes. Last but not least, we will be taking a very deep dive at dumb talk. Dumbed down, stupid, simple, primal caveman speech, okay? Now, let's dive in. There is no step-by-step lines to say or an exact process. Actually, you know what, before we dive into this, let's actually cover this for a second too. When I talked about the two types of men that a woman would gravitate towards, the first type I told you would be a person of royalty, okay, or a person of status. How would that man be talking? That man would be oftentimes making commands to the other people who are of lower status. Do this, do that, yes, no, I want this, I want that. Demand things like a child who's royal. Make demands like a toddler who didn't get their piece of candy yet that day. So that's why that works. Okay, that would be a man of status and a man of royalty. Well, what was the second type of man? The second type of man would be the type of man who is probably just very masculine and more of an average, everyday man who meets the genetic criteria for hunting and gathering. Well, how would he be talking? He would be talking very basic, or he would be talking to the other men. It would be, we need food, hunt, this, that. So the man trapped in psychological thought, the man not sure of himself, the man not knowing what to say to anybody, that is going to register as weakness to the woman. That is the type of man that would not be reproductively successful in the tribe. So notice both of these types of men, whether it be the genetically powerful masculine man who can protect, hunt, gather, build, he doesn't need to overemphasize work. He doesn't need to have long conversations. He doesn't need to talk about logic or anything serious. He doesn't need to over-explain himself. Any of those traits would have came across as low value. Same goes for the guy of royalty. He would never need to over-explain himself. He would never need to show tons of emotion to a woman. He would be at the cause of her emotions completely because he's guiding and he's directing, because he's the man of status. That is my justification for this, and if you use this in real time in the real world, you will watch this work. So, the first thing you have to know and you have to understand, there is no step-by-step lines or there is no step-by-step exact process. There's nobody who can script a conversation for you, okay? So there is only a framework to follow, and the framework we are going to be diving in through this entire series of the language of women would be front end game, mid game, and back end game. This is it. This is the framework we're following. However, there is no step-by-step lines or exact process, sentence by sentence, you can fucking follow. If you have someone trying to tell you that, they're lying to you. So do not let anybody tell you differently. And the reason why it's impossible is you can't script a conversation. Imagine if you went out to go grab a beer with your best friend and you guys tried to script a conversation of what to say to each other. It would look stupid. It's not going to work. So here's the note. The note that I want you to remember going into this when you're working your verbals with front-end game, the note is that the cat or the lion moves at his own pace, okay? So if a woman goes, are you drunk? Or if a woman asks you, how many drinks have you had? You know you're in the right energy. I'm going to say this one more time. The cat or the lion moves at his own pace, okay? That means if you ever are on a date or you're at a bar, you're at a nightclub, you're out with friends, and you're having tons of fun and you're screaming, you're shouting, you're laughing, you're playing, you're totally in your masculine active energy, you will have women routinely say, are you drunk? Or they'll go, how many drinks have you had? And if you look at her and you go, none, none, notice tone, none, no, I haven't had any. And you laugh, okay, or you tell her, she's going to sit there with a question mark for a second, and then she's going to have a big smile because she's going to go, whoa, this guy just is. If this guy's acting like this, he's not even drunk. This guy is truly an authentic masculine man who's just leaning into his own identity. She will fall head over heels in love with you. So, more on that later. Another key prerequisite, like I said in the past, We are not chasing women, okay? Do not chase women. When you do not chase women, they'll chase you. You talk to her, you're doing your life, you're interacting with your friends socially, you attract. That's how that works. So let's dive into each of these. The first thing we are going to cover throughout this series inside the language of women is tone, vocal tone. What you want to have is dumbed down speech, okay? If I were sitting here with a woman in front of me and I was drinking this glass of bubbly water, okay, this is water, this is sparkling water, it has bubbles, you can see the bubbles. If I take a sip, I might go, so good. I love the bubbles. Okay? If I just did that, look at that, I rubbed my tummy, I got my tank top on, not trying very hard, looks super stupid. Yum bubbles. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you this too. Do not try to copy me. Don't try to copy my mannerisms. Don't try to copy my gestures. That is the number one reason why I do not have a woman in front of me on these videos, is because then what happens is guys try to copy the language patterns, the personality, and the vocal tone of the person making the program. This is not pickup. If you do not try to copy how I talk. You have a different personality than me. Instead, I'm giving you nuanced examples, and the first thing you need to focus on is your own tone. So, dumbed down speech. Another thing is an emphasis on masculine tone. When I say masculine tone, if you're laying down on the couch with a woman and she's talking sweet to you in her feminine energy and she's saying, baby, you're so handsome, and her voice is very soft, very sweet, very feminine, very flirty, that is going to make you aroused. The same goes for women. When you have an emphasis on masculine tone, hi baby, your voice is maybe deep, your tone is projecting a masculine tone, you're talking at a slow pace that's controlled so you have frame, you have control of the conversation, she's going to think you're so hot. Now, why is this important? Because this puts a pull on her emotions. Do not underestimate the power of female sensitivity. Women are sensitive to vocal tone. You can arouse, seduce, attract, and make a woman fall in love strictly off vocal tone, even if you're broke and even if you don't have a lot going for yourself. So that's first. The second thing we're going to cover throughout this program is I'm going to show you the importance of talking slower. When you talk slower, okay, you control the frame and you control the narrative of the conversation. Imagine you are in an argument with your parents and they are talking a million miles an hour and you go, wait, hold up, stop. Here's how we are going to solve this. Nope, stop. Listen to me, okay? Notice how you're taking control of the pace. This is very important to talk slower, especially when you're one-to-one with the woman or when you've established a feeling of mutual attraction, or maybe when you guys are laying down on the couch together or watching a movie. This is how you seduce women. You talk slow. Why does talking slow arouse women? Because the first thing that it does is it proves you're in a calm state, right? A calm state of mind. You are also very confident. If any of you guys struggle with confidence, the number one way to appear more confident, even if you're very insecure and even if you're very shy, is to talk slower. Okay? He who talks slower is in control of the frame. So if you guys think of a boss, or like if you've ever seen the movie The Godfather, they are like a mafia boss. It's a really old movie. I think it was recorded in like the 60s or 70s. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But they talk very slow, right? They're the mafia boss. They are in control of the frame, and they don't, you'll notice that the main guy in it, the Godfather, he talks very slow. He talks very controlled. Why? Because it's hyper masculine. Okay, it's going to arouse a woman. She feels like she's in your state. She's going to naturally give you the respect you're looking for. It commands respect. It's commanding the right sort of energy. So another thing that you want to do, especially when you're out with friends and socializing and you're around women, is we focus on colors, feelings, and vibe. Okay? If you have the glass bottle, you go, ooh, I love the green. Look at the green. It matches your nails. You pull her nails close to you, say, look, your hands are like the glass. Right? So what is that? Well, all of a sudden, dumbed down speech, comparing her fingernails to the color of the green bottle, very dumbed down talk, okay? We're focusing on colors and feelings and vibe. This pulls on the female heart, this touches her soul, and she will literally be able to feel your vibe and feel your energy. You will naturally make an attractive masculine to feminine dynamic without chasing her for a date, without even pursuing her. They will chase you. So instead, attract. Women also like to feel special, and they like to feel like they're the center of attention. One thing I always do when I'm around a woman that I'm interested in is I don't compliment her directly and tell her how great she is and tell her I'd love to take her out. I'll just look at her and say, ooh, or I'll even cut her off mid-sentence. I'll say, ooh, let me see her nails. I'll grab her hand and go, did you just get them done? Ooh, look at the blue. And then I let go. Well, what did that do? It attracted her, right? It's like the dumbed down man looking at her hand and the intricacies of like the feminine. Another thing I'll do, like if a women, like I like women, I like everything about women. So like their hair, I like their nails. I love even like their bone structure. Like if she has very like thin wrists, okay, or if she has like really narrow shoulders, I think it's so like it's very attractive to me. I'll even like if I'm laying by her, I'll be like, ooh, look at your little wrists, right? You notice things. And what that does is it makes a comparison. I'm comparing the masculine, which is me, big, and I'm comparing, ooh, feminine, small woman. Look at the thin little wrists, right? It's dumbed down talk. And some of you guys might be laughing at me for saying this, but this works. I'm pulling on her soul. I'm showing the discrepancy in sexual market value. I'm showing the comparisons between masculine to feminine, even by commenting on her wrists, okay? Look at how the dynamic is established, because what that is saying is I am different from you. I am emphasizing there is polarity here. I'm emphasizing we are different, we are opposite. I say, ooh, look at your wrists compared to mine. Yours are so small. And then she sees mine are bigger. I'm making a comparison between the masculine and the feminine. I am creating attraction. I am now the polar opposite she's looking for. She will feel your vibe. You can literally make her fall in love off like usually those two moves. Her nails, look at her wrists. Ooh, your little shoulders. Look at your little wrists. Right, and this, you wouldn't necessarily do that in public, right? This is more if you're one-to-one with her and you guys are post-date, even maybe on the date if you're one-to-one. But notice, the reason why I'm giving you a lot of examples is because there's no way that I can tell you a process that is step-by-step. Anybody who's telling you this is going to put you way too in your head. If they're saying at the bar, say this, and then isolate over here, and then ask if she wants to go to a different venue after 30 minutes of doing this. Completely scripted, completely staged. Your whole interaction will be fucked. You'll be in your head the whole time, and you won't be able to vibe out with the rest of the friends. Total bullshit, will not work very well. A lot of you, that will put you in your head so bad, and even if everything goes accordingly, you'll be sitting there logically structuring your game that by the time you get her back to your house or by the time you guys go home together, you will be so in your head, you won't be in a good vibe. You probably will not be able to get an erection because you're not feeling the vibe with her. You're literally calculating everything. You're not going to have a high state of arousal. And now she can see you're playing a game instead of actually vibing in a masculine to feminine state with her. So this is why we focus on colors, we focus on look, we focus on feeling. I'm not talking about my career. I'm not talking about my life goals. I'm not talking about my passions, which brings me to my next phase, which is a deep dive at dumbed down talk, dumbed down speech. We are never talking anything serious. Never, ever, ever. The reason why we are never talking anything serious is because we are trying to remain a mystery. So when I'm in my fun, playful state and she's now in a state of play, she's in a fun, playful state because of how I'm operating with her, she's very happy. Now she wants to slowly get to know me. I have a saying that I use. The saying that I use is I say, the hotter the flame, the shorter the burn. Okay? Another saying I like to say is if I put your dream 10 out of 10 woman in front of you and she's a total dime and she's everything you've ever wanted in a woman and you need to remain a mystery, obviously, to hold this woman's attention, what I say is how slowly would you unfold yourself page by page in a 10-year plan so it's a novel that she can't finish. It's a novel that would take her 10 or 15 years to finish. Slowly, page by page, how slowly would you uncover yourself? The only way you're able to do this is by doing nothing serious. When you watch a movie, you say, ooh, let's watch cartoons, right? Dumbed down caveman. Ooh, let's watch this movie. Ooh, I love, popcorn. Oh, hey, come with me, we need popcorn. Shove it in the microwave. Oh, look at this, now we got so much popcorn, yum. Okay? Feeling, vibe, the feeling of fullness, the feeling of the popcorn, the vibe. right? Dumb down talk. I'm also talking slow. Ooh, popcorn, yum. Okay? She'll laugh and she'll giggle the whole time. Never serious, remain a mystery. Now, what happens when you do this is she likes you, but she can't figure you out because you're not actually giving her any descriptive information. You're not talking about what you do for a living. You're not talking about what you're passionate about. You're not talking about what you majored in college, and she doesn't care. And all that stuff will actually put you in your feminine energy, and it will make you very boring, and you will not fit into the two types of men I talked about from 1,000 years ago. You are now the men. You're now the third type of guy, number 3, who's passive, who had to work really hard, who's trapped psychologically in his head, who's a bookworm, and now you're going to come off as shy and insecure, and you're not going to actually demonstrate the sex appeal that women need to like you. So you want her to like you, like, ooh, yum, popcorn. She laughs, she goes, haha, I like him. But she can't figure you out. There's a girl recently, okay? I've smashed this girl now 4 times. We've had sex together 4 or 5 times. The girl only asked last night what I do for like work and for a living because she doesn't give a fuck at all. She knows like I kind of do something on social media, or she knows like I kind of do something on YouTube, but she has not asked once, what do you do? Only yesterday did she say, so what do you do? Or like, what do you do every day? Because she doesn't care. She comes over here to get an escape from reality. Okay, women enter your world to get a fucking escape. She wants an escape from taxes. She wants an escape from her pay period. She wants an escape from corporate life. She wants an escape from HR culture. And she wants to totally turn her brain off and kick it with a cool dude. Now, how do you be that cool dude who she thinks is hot that she wants to kick it with? By doing this. You focus in on your front end game. When you focus in on the front end game, the how to act, okay? How do you act properly, like I'm showing you? We focus on tone, talking slower, feelings and vibe, and dumbed down caveman primal talk. Well, what now happens? She now looks at that guy and goes, he's different. And I don't know why I can't stop thinking about him, but I just can't. And then she keeps coming over to see you. And then she falls in love. And then pretty soon you have a girlfriend, or you have a wife, or you have whatever you want. You have a rotation. I don't care what it is that you want. For a lot of you too, this is the key in keeping a woman's interest, because when I say the hotter the flame, the shorter the burn, if the flame is super hot in the beginning, we've all had those 2-month interactions. The flame is super hot. She gets to know you really quickly. You guys are hooking up and having great sex. She figures everything out about you in your personal life that quick because you gave too much information. You told her too much logic, or you told her too much truth about your past, too much logistics about yourself. The hotter the flame is hot. Now the shorter the burn. Now she's bored. Now it fizzles out, and now she leaves and goes and finds a new guy. So this right here is the very first module. This is the importance in acting like a dumb moron. I don't know how else to say it. That's why all of the men out there who get bitter, you know, you see the guy who didn't even graduate high school, who's full of tattoos and missing a tooth, and that is the guy who's pulling the really hot blonde supermodel home that night. Even though he lives at home with his parents, like that's why. Because he connected to her on a masculine to feminine dynamic, because this is so primal. This is so primal. This is so, you know, her biology is the same 500 years ago as it is today. Use that to your advantage by not trying too hard, seriously.